So you're probably wondering why I have the exclusive sets for the Lost World out again. Well, there's actually a good reason for that, and it has to do with today's video. Just getting you, letting you get a good look at everything that these came with. And as I said in the original videos on these guys, what you see here is essentially repackaged and repurchased um, figures, dinosaurs, and accessories that were released in previous Jurassic Park series. This guy over here is Josh Jackson, who was a Series 2 figure. The gun's not his, it came from something else. That was sold on its own with a card, a hatchling, and a trading card. The young T-Rex came in two versions prior to this. The original brown version, a black and green version, and then a more solid green here. The Utah Raptor was originally released in 1994 as part of Series 2, and this guy over here was formerly known as Harpoon Harrison, except he was also sold on a card, but the weapon he comes with here is actually the weapon that came with the Robert Muldoon figures. And of course the capture gear came with the Series 2 version of this. The original had no capture gear, and all the parts of this Utah Raptor, it came with the original capture gear because it was a Series 2 exclusive. Another thing about these figures that I said was that, as you can tell by the sticker over here, this was a Toys R Us exclusive, sold only there. This, I presume, was a Walmart exclusive, and I think that was one more that was either a Target or a Kmart exclusive, but yeah, out of all these, that it's probably the hardest. I doubt I'll ever be able to do a video on that one. But that's not really worth it. It's the accessories it comes with aren't the prehistoric creatures aren't even technically dinosaurs, and the isn't all that good. So I wanted to bring them out again because apparently the more things change, the more they stay the same. And we have the sorry, back up. This released this year, a battle damaged Jurassic World Ultimate Baryonyx Breakout. Now, I noticed anything similar to, and it's not just the packaging that really gave me a callback to, what was done 20 years previously, but there's also the fact that everything you see here is from a previous set. The Baryonyx was originally released as a solo figure, and oddly enough, much like this Utah Raptor, the Utah Raptor in the Series 2 release, the original feature was an electronic sort of like screech noise, and the first release of this Baryonyx originally had a roaring feature, which was removed for all subsequent releases, including this, but in this set, it kind of makes more sense, because if it was electronic, the set would probably cost more. Same could be said for the Utah Raptor. It probably would have had to cost more if they released it in its original electronic form. So it kind of makes sense, again, that they'd remove that. These two copies came with pretty much mostly the Legacy Collection figures, which were pretty much all the classic characters: Malcolm, Grant, Ellie, Robert. Speaking of, the flare over here is the flare that came with the Legacy Collection Ian Malcolm. This small Dimorphodon, I believe it's pronounced, came with one of the mercenary figures from Fallen Kingdom. Not one I have. That one came with an Ankylosaurus hatchling, so this one it might have been a different mercenary figure. It may even have been the Ken Wheatley figure, I'm not sure. The Owen figure you see here, as well as most of this gear, the body armor and padding at least, was originally a battle-ready Owen figure. But however, then the helmet is new, created exclusively for the motorcycle that comes with this set, which was also made for this. This motorcycle isn't from anything. It's actually the first since the original Hasbro Jurassic World's toy line that we've had an Owen with a motorcycle, unless you count the Zip toy, which is basically Owen on a motorcycle, like this, but it comes with a ripcord that you can pull to make it do a. But the figure is like permanently stuck to the motorcycle; it can't come off. The quick research I did on this tracker here, it originally came with the Claire figure for the Fallen Kingdom line. And last but not least, the knife. Owen has come with, there have been releases of Owen with knives, but this is actually a new weapon here based off of the rival from Jurassic World. So what we have here is basically a cluster bomb of pretty much the first two Jurassic World films. We have the Baryonyx from Fallen Kingdom. The Dimetrodons, although it's from a Fallen Kingdom release, they first appeared in Jurassic World when the Indominus Rex broke through the Avery. The copies, which go as far back as Lost World, although there's possibly more of a based on their return that we see in Fallen Kingdom. Yeah, the copies return in Fallen Kingdom. A flare from Ian Malcolm. An Owen figure with a new accessory. An accessory from a Claire figure, a new accessory made exclusively for the. Yeah, it's cluttered. But for what it is, this is a really nice set. And it pretty much. It pretty much carries on the legacy of what Kenner was doing back in the day, trying to re-release some of their more popular. Because I think everyone. Well, not everyone had the Utah Raptor when it first came out. Everyone had the young T-Rex, so it only makes sense that they keep re-releasing that figure. And the Dino Trackers were a late addition to the Series 2 line, so it's nice that they got some use in future releases. But enough beating around the bush. Let's see what this has to offer. Let's see. I'm gonna break the tape. Again, oh darn. I don't usually keep modern packages, but I'm actually considering keeping this one because aside from being smaller than back there, that you could just tell that those two are made in the 90s. There's a lot more plastic and cardboard, which, although recyclable, is, they used a lot more than most packaging on toys today, trying to cut down on waste and all that. I'm sorry if I'm just trying to get the tape off. And I don't want to damage the box. I actually tore a piece. It just doesn't want to come off. Well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but it's more of a sentimental item now than it is. We even get there's an instruction booklet in here. And it shows you pretty much everything that comes with. How to put the armor on Owen, what accessories go where, how to put them into the motorcycle, how to put the tail onto the Baryonyx. This is a really nice, and how to use the Baryonyx. This is a really nice instructions pamphlet. You almost never see something like this anymore. Oh, you Raptor. Yeah, this thing was notorious for having issues with standing. Mainly because of its weight is thrown off by how heavy it is. You'd think it wouldn't be a problem with the second version, since there's no electronics, but nope, it's just as cumbersome. Funny, these are Lost World figures, and I've actually got copies which originated in the Lost World. Motorcycle has a kickstand here, so you can. I'm trying to. Does it extend in any way, or does it just? There we go. And the accessories have tape on them. I get that it's to hold it in place, but it's so annoying. All this tape. Even when the tape comes off, it still stays in. There's almost no point in taping them up at all. Baryonyx tail out. Pop the rest of the accessories out. Okay, now, I think that's, oh boy, I think that's everything. So let's start with the Baryonyx. Now, comparing him to the older Kenner figures, it's not, but it actually could be in scale as a juvenile to the Kenner figures, and of course the compies, they really kind of work. Is it dangerous? I wouldn't think so. Compies have been perceived to be scavengers, like, no reason for it to fear man. Now there is. I love that scene. The thing about the Spielberg Jurassic films, I like all of them, all the Jurassic films, but the ones that were personally directed by Spielberg, they're just so quotable. Every line is still stuck in my head to this very day. Okay, one-time assembly on the tail, and it's permanently stuck in. And as I said, when this was first released, it originally had an electronic roar feature, but every subsequent re-release removes that. But it does have a biting action. The arms are articulated, but they don't in any way. And yeah, this guy feels pretty solid and actually feels kind of nice. Sort of just hold. You could actually see, much like with the Utah Raptor, you can see where the battery pack for cell batteries used to go in there, but it's been soldered up, sealed up, when all the parts removed. This, on the Baryonyx, you can actually see where the battery compartment used to be. There would have been a screw hole here to change the batteries once the old one died. Oh, my finger was stuck. I thought the jaw was stuck out of the package. Claws are unpainted, which is kind of a shame, since Kenner clearly painted all the claws on their figures, but yeah, what can you do? Okay, let's see. Oh. I've got to get a tripod or something. I'm just glad I'm not a big channel that does this for a living or anything, because I would be okay. It kind of fits. It feels a little loose in a Kenner figure hand, but it rests well enough. It's amazing how some of the accessories for the old Kenner figures actually do. The parts for the new Jurassic series are usually compatible with the Kenner figures. Although not always. This rifle is not in scale. It looks way too small. Let's get on off this motorcycle. And it's not an exact replica of the Harley he rode in Jurassic World. Although I doubt they could make an exact copy of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle without. And the handlebars actually do steer. They actually can steer the bike. Motorcycles have had a long synonymous relationship with the Jurassic franchise. Going all the way back to the... My only gripe is that yet again we have another Owen figure. I mean, I like Chris Pratt as much as the next guy, but... yeah, this is just way too many Owens. It probably would have been better repainting on one of those mercenary figures, like what they did with the old series. And yeah, just... but... I guess it's alright for what it is. And snap on all the armor accessories. Speaking of Kenner, this actually reminds me of a lot of the old Kenner, like, they had Batman and Star Wars figures that came with armor that you would put over the basic figures. And it made them very bulky and gave them, like, missile launchers, and... the 90s were great. So, yeah. Or is this supposed to be shoulder armor? Let me check the instructions again. Oh yeah, it is shoulder armor. Thought it was leg armor. Okay. So the helmet has been cast in a brown color that doesn't match that doesn't match the body armor that this was originally made for. I don't see why they didn't just cast in the same silver, but it could be a last minute decision. Put the armor on and doesn't even, and it almost doesn't even look like Owen anymore. And we have flare or data pad. Can you hold that, buddy? Yeah, let's just give him his rifle. Hopefully he can. Yeah, he can. There's no wrist articulation, much like with the old Kenner figures, so can't really aim very well because he can't turn his wrists. But there we go. And there we have it, all suited up with nowhere to go. Or, oh, yeah, and that's a look at how much has changed in the last 20 odd years. Sometimes, more things change, the more they stay the same. That's all I'm saying.